Hey there, BookTube. Noah, everyone who reads and must converses the channel. Nice to see you. Happy Friday for sure. Friday, right? Um, in the middle of, or at the beginning of the middle of the holiday, the December season. Coming up on Christmas. It's always a whole thing for me because I have three daughters. Um, Two of them are teenagers. One's 17, one's 14, and then my youngest is 7. So she's still, she's just all about it. It's so fun. It's just so fun. Hey, Mark Richardson in the house, and hey, Deb. I hope everybody's cool, having a good time. Your tree and area looks awesome, Mark. Hey, Christina. Nice to see you for sure. I have a little bit of a different setup. You might be able to tell, you might not. I don't know. But I have a little bit of a different setup as far as lighting and my filming is concerned. So let me know if you notice if it's a positive or if you're like, wait, this looks weird or something, right? Very cool. Nice to see you. Hey, Jim reads too slow. Happy Friday for sure. That's right. What's up, Tyler? Yeah. So you see I'm wearing my ginger shirt. I took a week off. Hey, Sonia. Nice to see you. For sure. Happy Friday. And very cool. Sandy misreads a lot in the house. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming by. Awesome. Yeah, it's on. Hey, Trish. Thank you. Thank you, Trish. Um, amazing group. Thank you for everybody supporting, coming by and hanging out. Hey, around the weird. That's right, the Infinite Jester. I swear to God, this book is oppressive. This book is insanity. And this is where we start for tonight because this is my current read, and it's just uh it's unbelievable. My table with books is over here. We'll see it. We'll come over here in a second. I'll give you a little teaser. If you saw the thumbnail for this one tonight, then I'm gonna have a guest on in a little bit, and we're gonna be talking some uh southern Gothic literature, or just Gothic literature in general. Um, Pointedly Flannery O'Connor. Hey, Bryant, Scott, and Becky in the house. I saw y'all's tag earlier today. That was cool. Y'all are super hilarious. I swear. I loved it. Loved it. And can't wait to see you do the end of the year tag um soon. For sure. Nice to see y'all back on and making content for sure. Um yeah, haven't seen Christina making content in a bit. I assume she's been knitting. Either she's reading or she's knitting, right? Yeah, that's right. Victoria's going to be on A Musical Bookworm is the name of her channel. It is a fantastic channel. She's lovely, and she's going to be on. So, last week I took off. Very cool, Sandy. Travel through stories. Nice to see you, brother. Very cool. I did not watch your latest video yet. I saw that it had dropped, but I have not watched it yet. I love travel through stories. I love this guy's content. Check out his channel if you haven't. It's great content. He does dedicated reviews a lot of times, kind of like I do, because when it comes down to it, how I am, if it's a book that I really like and I want to talk about, well, I can talk about it. You know what I mean? Like I can talk about it for 10, 15 minutes short. So I'll just do that for a video and just get it all out of me. You know what I mean? And then move on to the next read or whatever it is. Um, Travel through stories. Buddy has a lot of good stuff to say. That's for sure. Very cool, Christina. Can't wait to see your video. Yeah, Sandy. What'd you pick to read? Very cool. Hey, Victoria. Victoria's in the house. Um, I saw a really cool knitting Christmas presents. There you go. Heck yeah, Christina. So I had worn, yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Sandy. Yes, this is the style that the original hardcover is in. I'll be showing that later. I have a lot of I have a lot of Flannery O'Connor love, that's for sure. So I have been very fortunate to be able to get my hands on something very special from Flannery O'Connor. Anybody who watches my channel will know what it is that I'm talking about. But if you haven't seen it, because I haven't shown it in a while, then I'm going to show it tonight. It's a really, really special book by Flannery O'Connor, an edition that, you're not going to get your hands on all very easily or for a cost effective amount. It's just ridiculous. Flannery O'Connor was somebody who, was just getting started, really, in her career, was just getting started when she was, cut short in her life from lupus, right? Oh my God. Nice. I'd like to see that, Becky. Norwalls. Hey, Daniel. Daniel Backer, Off the Wall Novels. Nice to see you, brother. For sure. Thanks for coming by. All right, so we're good to go. We are good to go. Ginger, baby. Ginger. That's who I went and saw last Friday. That's why I didn't do the live because I was at the Ginger show here in Atlanta. It was awesome. I mean, it was awesome. Ginger is so good live. They're kind of a progressive metal band. A chick lead singer. They're from the Ukraine, and they're really hard, but they also have this kind of melodic, and they change up time signatures. This kind of break beat. Uh, some of it. It's cool. It's cool music, and I really, really enjoyed myself. We really had a blast at the show. Oh, I would have. I kind of put up posts and was kind of hyping it a bit, but we'll see. Very cool. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna like her. That's for sure. She's nothing if not a great writer because she was all about like form and method to her writing that she distilled it down, and what she did very, very well on a very high level. So I couldn't wait. I would have loved to see what she would have done with her third or fourth novel, you know, when she started really kind of expanding. Very cool, Bryant. Yeah. Very cool, Victoria. Y'all rock. Very cool. Do it. Do it. Very cool. I'll check out Spirit Box for sure. Yeah, I really like Ginger. A buddy of mine turned me on to, yeah, turned me on to Ginger, and I was just like, what the? Of course, the first um song was Pisces. Um, yeah, yeah. That's right, Tyler. Yeah, I'm more old school as well. I love Metallica, Iron Maiden for sure. Uh, Sabbath, Black Sabbath. I love that stuff. But um, the new stuff, some of the, I mean, my girls, my daughters turned me on to some really cool stuff. Yeah, there you go, Josh. I really like the new video, Josh. I swear. There you go, Scott. I mean, they might have had some like triple XLs at the show. I didn't check. I mean, I'm kind of a little guy. It doesn't seem like it because all y'all see is videos, and I'm stocky, but I'm a small guy. Um, I'll rap about what I've been reading for a little bit without going into too much. Because it 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 threatens to swamp every sense of talking about anything. Uh, Infinite Jest is an unbelievable work. I am 730 pages into it. I have about 200 pages left, and I mean, it's unbelievable. Maybe 200 and, you know, 230 pages left. It's crazy the amount of detail of everything that is in that book in Infinite Jest. And what it comes down to is you get a portrait of academia, but not really academia. It's a very high level tennis program that these kids are in all ages, right? You will have some preteens, 12, 13, and then you'll have teenagers all the way up till, you know, 20, right before they go pro, right? That's what, if you last through the program, you're going to end up, going pro. It's the most prestigious um, tennis program in the country. But you get every detail of all the drills, of all the day-to-day mundane stuff, all of everything, everything about their life. That's right, Mark. I gave myself 2 months to get in to read Infinite Jest, and I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna make it by the end of December. But it is a beast. It is a beast. And I started, the beginning of November. So it's been over a month, and I'm 730 pages, and I feel very, very happy with that. I think that it's very good because even at like 300 pages, I felt like I had read, 1,000 pages of text. There's so much detail. And besides, hey, Pavio, nice to see you. And besides the tennis program and all the day-to-day life of our main characters, almost the lion's share of main characters are involved in the tennis program or behind the scenes one way or the other. The Incandenza family. They, the mom's works there. The dad himself was working with uh, some of the uh, movie making, but they call it cartridges. It's a different kind of technology. This is kind of a alternative future. I have not watched the Book Chemist Infinite Jest content. It used to be his favorite book for sure, but I haven't watched it because I didn't read it yet, so I didn't, jump in and watch it. But I will once I finish it for sure. I'm gonna watch all the content on Infinite Jest once I finish it. I haven't finished watching Leaf by Leaf's content. I haven't watched any of the Book Chemist content on it. But I will for sure get into it. The other, hey Paulina Porter, nice to see you. Thanks for coming by. Yes. Oh my God, Christina. Oh my God. I can't wait. Hey, Puff Pets. Thank you. If that congrats is for me, do it, Mark. Oh, it will be. I mean, it's so unbelievable. It's so beautiful and unbelievable. Hey, Moon Palm, Nancy. Thanks for coming by. Happy Friday. For sure. Um, all good to come in late. The door is always open over here at Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse. Anybody can come on by and hang out. And that's what it's all about. So, other than the tennis academy, we're in Boston, Massachusetts, the prestigious college or tennis program is there, and also there's an AANA group, a very large AANA group that meets, and you are just covered up and completely wrapped in this Alcoholics Anonymous group, the day-to-day happenings, the people that are in it, and everything. So there's so much sadness. There's so many stories of loss. Thank you, Puff Pets. That's right. Yeah, over 700 pages um in this beast of a book. And I can't say that I'm like enjoying myself because the subject matter is loss, choice and making choices and the value of choice and all that kind of thing, but then loss. And it's really hard to take. It is something that is very powerfully done. And of course, it has David Foster Wallace's absurdity, uh, hysterical realism, and ultimately like surreal fantasy elements. It's ridiculous. So I can't wait to really get to the end of it and see what David Foster Wallace is doing or what he wants to do with this whole thing. I'm sure to be satisfied because I do like David Foster Wallace. I've read a lot of his stuff. And um people that hate on Infinite Jest, now that I've read like 700 pages of it, people that I've seen hate on it with like a, 5 or 10 minute video or something like this, just kind of nailing it. I don't know if they really read it because there's so much stuff going on that you have to like acknowledge and kind of get into picking apart what he did or what he was trying to do and whether he was successful at it, that kind of thing. Not just, oh, this is pretentious because it's a long book or whatever. I don't know a scene with a broomstick. I don't know a scene with a broomstick. Well, I can't believe that I haven't done more content on Infinite Jest because usually those big books I've been doing at least, 2 videos during the month to break them up because the books are so big. But I can't really wrap my head around all the details and all the stuff that's going on. I'm gonna wait till the end, and then I'll make some content, and then we'll see. Right? We'll see what we come up with. Um, but now Victoria's here, so I'm gonna invite Victoria at a musical bookworm along, and we'll talk some Flannery O'Connor. Hey, Victoria.
Hello, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on one of your famous live shows. I'm
Thanks for
honored.
coming along. Yeah, it's cool. I love it having so much of our community hanging out, and supporting each other. And then it's a great place to hype because people see it and stuff like that. So you and I haven't talked and done buddy read before or anything like this.
Yeah, first time. I'm excited.
I've known, done a lot of things with Christy, and she's the third party in this Flannery O January. Oh yeah, I made this for you.
Oh, thanks.
That's right.
I feel special.
Yeah.
I get a banner.
So we've done Christy and I have done quite a bit before, and it's just so cool. And we've done some stuff focusing on Flannery O'Connor for the anniversary of her death, 2020. We did Codex Cantina and I and Christy Louise at Dostoevsky in Space all just kind of took one of her stories and just released a video on the day.
What
And
story was it? I must
I
have
did it.
I must have missed it at the
I
time.
did everyone who reads it must or
Okay.
everything that
Everything
rises
that
must
rises,
converge.
yeah.
And then uh Codex Cantina did Good Country People.
Cool.
And Hannah over at Hannah's Books actually did a really cool kind of breakdown of everything that rises must converge as well, because there's a lot of, I mean, it's all about reintegration, the dissolving of racism and reintegration of the society in the South. So it's just a perfect conversation starter short story for Flannery O'Connor. I love it.
I haven't read everything that rises, but I've read Good Country People. So I definitely want to go find that Codex video. You said Codex, right?
Yeah.
I want to go find that and watch it. But
they did like the whole skit.
I read all of them.
It was really cool. It's really cool.
I'll go back and watch
those. Yes, Sonia, we're talking about when we say Jerusalem, it's Jerusalem by Alan Moore. What an amazing book. It's a big beast, but it's actually, broken into 3 parts, so it's not a big deal. What we're talking about, the group read that will be going on, what we're talking about is Flannery O January. So, Victoria and I and Christy Louise at Dostoevsky in Space are going to be doing a kind of just a challenge, a blanket challenge to the community to read some Flannery O'Connor in January. And we're going to be doing our own kind of challenges. And
something for everyone, I feel like.
Victoria, yours is to read some short stories, the collection, the only collection of short stories that was ever published during her lifetime, which is A Good Man is Hard to Find and Other Stories. A Good Man is Hard to Find is a very powerful and awesome story.
Yes.
And there's a lot of good stuff in that short story collection. So that's an easy way for somebody to jump in, right? Do you want to say a little something about your challenge and, just to kind of give people something and maybe entice them to jump on the short story bandwagon before I rope them into a novel?
Yeah, well, I actually, that has been so far my only exposure to Flannery O'Connor is her short stories, and I'll be really interested. I do want to try to read her that novel too with you. Flannuary. That's definitely going to be it's a tongue twister a little bit. Flannery O'Flannuary.
This edition is the UK edition. Mark was saying he loves the cover, and Christina has this edition. This is the UK edition, complete short stories. Other than that, the American edition is this peacock.
So pretty.
Pretty cool. So
I want to buy that one. I need to get that one. But yeah, I would say I think her short stories are a really good representation of her and like her flavor. So I do think they are a good starting point.
They're perfect. They're perfect.
I'm so curious to know what her novels are like. So I'm definitely going to be trying to read The Violent Bear Away as well. But cool. I'm planning on doing the entire short story collection and doing maybe some videos on certain ones. So I'll be putting that together. But you are welcome to kind of jump around in the short stories. I would recommend A Good Man is Hard to Find, as like don't skip that one. As it is kind of a central theme that the others kind of also revolve around, or at least the kind of the ones that I'm aware of. But yeah, I think they are a good kind of representation of how hard she can punch. Right. Yeah, and that's what fascinated me about her when I read her for the first time, was just she's brutal, but also like so artful, and like her powers of observation are incredible as far as what she sees in society, what she notices, and what she can articulate in her short stories. It's just incredible. So I'm really looking forward to getting a little bit more of a from a completionist standpoint to read the entire collection. Yeah, not soft at all, Christina.
No,
No, yeah, hard edges all the way around.
that's
It's
right.
so good.
Yeah, she was very very much a singular type of writer and a person, I think. You know, she was very, very just steeped in this Southern Gothic feel. It's dark, it's dirty, it's country. It's there's not a lot of hope, but there's a lot of humanity, and there's a lot of just, you know, people living. I mean, and fully living, and they're going at it. It's just what it is. But in her stories, you always have people who kind of they have the wrong idea. You know what I mean? They they
Yeah,
they
they're a
they
little
have
bit they can be cautionary tale feeling sometimes.
right.
Um, and like her protagonists are like you're kind of laughing at them sometimes as far as like, well, you know, how could you do that, or like how could a person be that oblivious or naive, but then you realize like she's saying that we are those
Yeah,
people, we are those
might be me.
protagonists.
Right, it might be
That's
me.
us, right? Oh,
um,
she had lupus.
she died
She
from
died of
lupus at a
lupus.
young age. That's right. That's right. Um, yeah, the very Flannery O'Connor was wise. She was wise, and and I think the only way that her stuff has skirted, because you never hear the term preachy associated with Flannery O'Connor. She was not preachy, but Flannery O'Connor did push how she thought about stuff, you know, but it's done through the craft, the storytelling. And she's saved from this um, kind of label of being preachy, of trying to push her own thoughts about humanity, or how people should be, by the endless, almost endless revision and just distilling down what she was writing and what she wanted to say, her stories. She does it so well, or she did it so well. She took out everything that was not unnecessary, and she made everything very, very weighty and poignant to the story. I started my Flannery O'Connor, of course, with some short stories in school. You know, being in Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta, I read Flannery O'Connor in school. Not much, you know. There's not a focus on Flannery O'Connor in your high school classrooms, but I read in high school. I read Wise Blood,
Oh wow.
and I just because I found it and I saw it at the bookstore, and I was like, Flannery O'Connor, heck yeah, I love it. And so I read it, and I was floored. This book is powerful. This is very, very strong. It's very, very good. There's a small cast of characters. Hazel Motes, the main character, is one of the most striking and stick with you main characters that is in literature. He's awesome. And she was writing this in college and finished it, writing this in university and finished it after she graduated, and this is her first published novel. Highly recommend it. There is a movie made of True Blood. John Huston, Angelica Houston's dad, he's the movie maker that made Annie and a host of other movies, like just so many movies. He was a prolific movie maker. He did Wise Blood, and the performance, Brad Dourif plays Hazel Motes. It's an amazing performance. It's so hardcore. I mean, it's so intense. Um, and that's Flannery O'Connor too. She's intense. It's not lupus. Oh, yeah, right. Mark says Flannery sounds like a master carpenter for sure. She's amazing. So, Christy, I'll go ahead and say a little bit since Christy's not here. We're going to push Christy a little bit. Everybody pretty much knows Christy Louise Dostoevsky in space. She's going to be doing going through some of Flannery O'Connor's letters, The Habit of Being, and here's my copy of The Habit of Being. It is a thick work. Flannery with her peacocks. She
Peacock.
was a bird. She was a bird lover. There's a story, and it's in her letters when she's recounting the story, uh, talking to, writing a letter to somebody of her having a pet duck when she was a kid in high school and making a sweater or something like this for the duck and bringing it into her classroom, into the school, as like her pet. So,
That's
she was
awesome.
an eccentric figure
Yeah.
her whole life. She had
Yeah.
no
Awesome.
problem with going against the grain, right?
Yeah. No, I mean that shows in her writing too. Yeah, she didn't want to write to please people. She wrote what she observed about the world.
That's right.
Definitely
And
an unconventional person.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, there's a lot of her talks. I love it, where she's talking about this kind of idea of being an unconventional person. She's like, well, I'm just a Southern girl. I'm not conventional to you for sure because you're a northern city guy over
Yeah.
here
So
saying
that
how,
perspective for sure.
yeah, talking about how weird I am. But I tell you, I know these people. These people in my stories, I know these people. Conrob says he's reading Wise Blood right now. A wonderful choice, and he's going through the entire bibliography from start to finish. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Um, Flannery O'Connor did not write that much. She wrote um, under 40 short stories in her life, and she wrote two short novels. They're not very long. So it is a tragedy, but we'd rather celebrate than mourn, and there's a lot to celebrate in what Flannery O'Connor did leave us, enough to really rival authors that had a long career. She's so powerful that her work rivals authors that had a long career. So after Wise Blood was the short story collection that Victoria's going to go through, which is A Good Man Is Hard to Find in Other Stories. And then she worked, uh, once she knew she had lupus and she was just writing this book, she wrote The Violent Buried Away. And I can't even. Okay. Here's my reading copy, right? Here is my first edition hardcover of Violent Buried Away.
Oh,
I
that's
I
awesome.
mean, you don't get first editions like a first edition of Wise Blood.
Yeah.
You don't get it because it's it wasn't printed very high cost. You know what I mean? It's really the dust jackets are all.
Where did you find that copy?
I got it on eBay on a
No
steal.
way.
I saw it for a crazy price, and I told a buddy, I showed him, I said, look, somebody's got a hardcover. They say it's a hardcover, first edition of The Violent Buried Away, and they were showing pictures of it. I said, but you know, they can't be putting this up there for that amount. If it
Yeah,
is, then
that's probably
and he goes,
worth some money.
yeah, and he goes, well, just make an offer. And so I did it, and I got it, and they sent it to me,
Wow,
and
that's so
it,
cool.
the spine, you see, the cover is purple, but the spine is this bright pink because of sitting on a shelf in her
Yeah.
library for so long. Um, the Harris Elmore Public Library is where it's from, and all of these first edition Violent Buried Aways, um, they're all library copies.
Mm.
Everything that's left, they're all ex-library copies. You just can't get it anymore. This is like the prized possession of
That
my
is
books.
awesome.
And I love it. And
Do you know how much it would go for? Like, actually?
a few $100,
Yeah, that's what I
you
would
know.
assume.
$300, $400, something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't care. But I don't,
Yeah, no, never get rid of it.
it's mine.
Yeah.
I'll get rid of this one. I'll read this one and then give it away or something like that. But just saying that, just so everybody knows, um, that Jay, my our boy Jay, Jay Maddox Entertainment. I don't know if you watch his channel, but Jay Maddox jumped on getting the three by Flannery O'Connor. So Jay Maddox over there at Jay Maddox, or The World According to Jay, that's the name of his channel. I'm sending him this copy, Wise Blood, A Good Man Is Hard to Find, and The Violent Buried Away. So all three,
Nice.
this is everything that was published during Flannery O'Connor's lifetime. And he's getting that one, so he's going to be in on whatever he wants to read.
That
He's
is
a
awesome.
he's a horror reader, so he's going to love all of it, really. Hey, Reed Becca. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much, Puff Pet. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. There is a lot of literary criticism. There is a lot of literary work and criticism done on Flannery O'Connor. It's very, very interesting and very fruitful to go through it. You had said on your on your hype video, on your announcement video, Flannery O'Connor was a Catholic, and she was very devout Catholic, but um, there was a mysticism undertone to Flannery O'Connor's way of looking at spirituality and the outward kind of ritualistic and things you might do are one thing, and you do
Mhm.
those for the reason of growth in that kind of way, outward way. But in your inner life, you have to use your inner life as your substance to work with to grow internally. And she was doing that. She looked at her sufferings as grist for the mill, as the substance that she had to use to grow.
Mm.
It just is what it is. And so she did love the Bible. She did. But I doubt her interpretation of the Bible would rest well with most popular Christians,
Mm.
even though she even aligned herself with the establishment, the
Mhm.
Catholic Church.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people. A lot of people don't understand how there is leeway, um, even within a very formal system like what you might think of Catholicism, for a rich interior life.
Oh,
And
yeah, for
Flannery
sure.
O'Connor has that. One of my favorite books that I have to explore this kind of thing is
Ooh.
The Gospel According to Flannery O'Connor
Oh, cool. Imma write that down.
by Jordan Coffer. This is not an easy one to find, even though it's very short.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is a
it's so thin.
this was put out or he is a professor of English at Abraham Baldwin College in the United States. This is straight literary criticism, so it's got a lot of notes and references and works, a bibliography that it's working off of, and it's one of my favorites. I mean, it's one of my
Cool.
favorites that I have of literary criticism, just to go through and see somebody kind of exploring how she's using.
I'm glad you mentioned that about, like, her inner like, our inner life being sometimes, like so it's like a separate thing from your outer religion that you subscribe to, because I think as people we like to kind of categorize other people, right? So it's easy to just say Flannery O'Connor was a Catholic, and then you have these assumptions about, okay, well, her work must be like this if
Right,
she's Catholic, but like
right,
there's so much more to us as people rather than I am a Catholic. So I think that's a great point to bring up.
right. Yeah, people, there's a lot of assumptions
Mhm.
and that get made. And yes, Mark, Flannery O'Connor is in the Library of America. Uh, the selection, the Library of America book that I saw, I think has everything that's in that 3 by Flannery O'Connor here, and also some of the miscellaneous prose, some of the stuff that's in Mystery and Manners. But I don't have the Library of America edition. But I have seen it, like, at my library for sure. The font is probably tiny. Hey, baby, Emily in the house. Emily is in my house and in this house as well. The the live house.
Got
So thanks for
it.
coming by, baby. The books are not very long, but yeah, they are. Even in this one, they are. The font is small, you know. So Jay better not be, complaining. Just get your magnifying glass out and read it. You know what I mean? I don't care. I'm sending it, you read it. Um, so another thing that I gotta show, because this is another one that's hard to find, but I did find it in like the reference section of a local library, so I couldn't check it out. So I had to just look at it while I was up there, and then I bought it off eBay as well. And this is another one that is a prize to me. This is Resources of Being, Flannery O'Connor's library. So this is a survey and a catalog of everything that was in Flannery O'Connor's personal library when she died.
Oh wow.
It
I
has
think
every
have you
title.
showed that you've showed that book on your channel before. I think I recognize it.
I have, because I've talked about Flannery O'Connor and I show it pretty much any chance I get. Just like just like with this, I mean, like, I'll show it any chance I get because I love this book. I love it. But this one here is a close, second or third. Um, you have
That's
all her marginalia. Any notes that she took in any of the books is typed out, but it's basically just a catalog of all the books, and it's very cool to see what fiction she had in her library. She had a huge selection of philosophy, religious studies, consciousness studies, um, applied sciences, literature, just she read everything. She read everything. And her letters are really, really cool because she talks about and references very easily different things that she's read. And it's just like to see, an amazing reader. She's an exemplar reader
Hmm.
because she's a writer, so she's like an exemplar kind of reader. A
The
huge
more I hear about the letters, the more excited I am to read them. At first,
great.
I was kind of like, "Oh, letters, maybe," but now I'm like, "No, I need to I need to pick up the letters."
Oh yeah.
The more I read about them and hear about them, I'm like, yeah.
It's wonderful. I mean, I've been turned on to authors because she had a lot of author friends that she was writing letters with, or author friends that she refers to in letters between other
Mhm.
people. And so it's a treasure trove, really. She was into history. She had quite a bit of history, and then a selection of journals and magazines that she had in her personal library, and it's great. The library is in a college, in a university library in Milledgeville, Georgia, which is where she lived and died. It's kind of right in the middle of Georgia, the state. You know what I mean? So it's like, uh, I would say maybe like 45 minutes south of Macon, Georgia, maybe something like that.
Unfortunately, I know nothing about Georgia as a Californian.
The
I
undeclared
would like to
nation.
go someday. I'd like to
The un,
visit.
yeah. The Habit of Being, the Letters of Flannery O'Connor, was published posthumously. But this is a first edition of that of 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 this publication, and I love it. I just found it on the shelf in a used bookstore, so I grabbed that,
What a good
and this
find.
is and this is a first edition of that, of The Violent Buried Away. I am always looking for a first edition of A Good Man is Hard to Find, Everything That Rises Must Converge, which is the short story collection that was published posthumously, but there is a first edition of that one as well. And Wise Blood. But, Wise Blood is almost impossible to find because there's just no copies that aren't, in somebody's possession.
Mhm.
So, there's wonderful Flannery O'Connor criticism. I know. See, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. See, the Undeclared Nation missed my first showing, so that's why I showed it again. But I had already. I've.
Let's just show it again.
You ain't got to twist my arm. I'll do the whole show like this. Just peeking.
There's a
Just
person behind there
peeking.
somewhere.
I'll do the whole show. So I love this drawing. I love this
Yeah,
picture on here.
that's a really striking sketch.
Yeah, it's great. But my favorite picture of Flannery O'Connor is this picture that's on. This is called Women Writers' Texts and Contexts, and it's a literary criticism put out by Rutgers University Press, and it is just on
Oh yes.
A Good Man is Hard to Find.
I've
So
seen that cover.
yeah. So there's a young Flannery O'Connor just post graduation. You can see she had this picture taken with the first edition copy of Wise Blood sitting on her lap. So her first novel, her first thing published, just got published, and there she is.
Exciting
Happy.
time in her life, I'm sure.
Yeah, a very happy time pre-diagnosis with lupus and everything ahead of you. So this is just a collection of essays exploring the story A Good Man is Hard to Find. There's a lot of good stuff in here. And I always kick myself because I came to in a used bookstore, I came across a literary criticism and I didn't buy it. And I knew, like when I was, right when I left, I was like, well, I'm never going to see that book again, And of course I didn't. But it's a literary criticism called "And the Critics Bear It Away," and it's talking about how how long it took for criticism to catch up on Flannery O'Connor, because Flannery O'Connor was like a method writer. She, writers would see what she was doing, and I mean it's good, it's undeniably good, but it's like when you take a short story and you write a short story that you're happy with, but then you work on that short story, just that exclusively for 3 years.
That's intense.
By the end of that, you have like a perfect story right there, right?
There's your master carpenter right there.
Right. That's what Flannery O'Connor did. That's what she did with everything that she wrote. So there is stories in her collection, the complete stories. There's stories in here that you can tell are not given the full Flannery O'Connor treatment. But the ones that do have the full Flannery O'Connor treatment, like The River, that's in A Good Man is Hard to Find. I love that story. A Temple of the Holy Ghost. That might be my favorite one out of that collection. I love that short story, and it's so good. Like it's just so, you couldn't add anything. You couldn't take anything away. You can't do anything except just reread it. That's the only thing. So very cool.
I'm excited.
Love
Can't
some
wait to get to
Flannery
that.
O'Connor. Yeah, I can't wait either. I'm looking forward to all the content. There seems to be quite a bit of hype. A lot of people interested and ready
Good.
to jump on the Flannery O January train, or Flannuary. Hey,
Flannuary.
As long as you use hashtag FlanneryOJanuary so that I can find all the content and videos, feel free to use Flannuary as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty catchy.
Yeah, I
The
don't care.
shortened version.
Do it. I don't care. It's great. I'm really laid back with it. So, Victoria, is there anything else you want to kind of bring out? Any ideas? What do you like about, obviously you have an affinity for Flannery O'Connor. How do you feel about other Gothic literature or even Southern literature? Have you got into much or whatever?
I wish I was well read enough to say that I have, but Flannery O'Connor is really my only, well, because I haven't really read Faulkner before, which is sad. Because I know he's also a prominent Southern
He's
Gothic
amazing. He's
writer.
amazing.
And unfortunately, I haven't gotten to William Faulkner yet, so I need to do that like ASAP. But Flannery O'Connor is like probably one of my only exposures to the genre. So
Well,
I
everybody's read
definitely
To
need
Kill a
to dig
Mockingbird.
in. Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess that counts, right?
He does. Of
Yeah.
course. I mean, To Kill a Mockingbird feels like, you know, a book written by, a Flannery O'Connor's younger sister or something. you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's great.
Well, I
It's
know like a big part of Flannery is like the critique of the South as well. So I think that's important to remember too when reading her is like she's coming at her own background and her own culture with like such a keen eye.
right. Oh, she
She has a
wasn't.
lot to say.
You called it out. She doesn't pull any punches, that's for sure. And I think that makes a great writer. That makes somebody, she saw herself as uh it was very, very serious what she was doing, writing. She was writing to uh show people a truth
Mhm.
about
Yeah, to
themselves that they didn't know.
cut away the facade and really show the heart.
Right. And to do that, I mean, it has to be striking. It has to pull you out of your comfort zone. It has to hit you hit you in a sideways kind of way for you to go, wait a second, like what is it that I'm not, there's something here that's not my normal modus operandi. you know what's going on here.
Mhm.
I do love Faulkner. I can't say enough how much I love Faulkner. I would say that Flannery O'Connor's favorite Faulkner is was As I Lay Dying.
Yeah, that seems to be what when I ask like what to start with, that a lot of people say that, which
It
I have
is
a copy of. I do own a
cool.
copy in my house. I just need to read
You
it.
do. I read it in like 3 sittings in no time. I mean, I'm telling you, it's great. It's like that. You can read it in a weekend. And it will pull you in like that too. And you look like, I don't know you, Victoria. I don't want to make any assumptions, but you might be a James Franco fan.
Um, yeah, I mean, I have nothing against the guy.
Well, James Franco did a an adaptation of As I Lay Dying. I've never seen it, but I hear it's good.
Like he produced it
And he's in it, like,
and he's in it.
and he plays. I think he plays Darl, which would be the main character. The quote unquote main
Cool.
character. It's hard to say. There's not really like a main protagonist um in As I Lay Dying because every chapter is told from the perspective, the internal monologue, internal consciousness of a character. So everybody has their
Mhm.
time. Their,
Oh, that's right. That's right. I knew that. And it's a journey
yeah,
story, right? It's like you're going on this journey with them and you're seeing the inside of each character on this journey.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
yeah.
Yes, read about
and
it.
it's amazing. Oh God, Victoria, it's
I didn't know there was
amazing.
a movie.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I
Okay.
will. I will watch it. I should watch it. I don't know. I'm not drawn to movies. It takes me a lot to really sit down and watch a movie when I'm like, why am I going to give 2 hours to a movie when I only give, an hour to reading a day
Mhm.
or something? You know what I mean? Something like that. So, I'm always let down by movies. Movies let me down all the time. It's like I want so much more because I'm a reader that I want so much more with my
Yeah.
stories. It's just every
I
every
feel you.
every yeah, they always let me down. Um, one thing I would show because I've shown everything. One thing I wanted to say because I've shown everything that I own that Flannery O'Connor has put out that is available in her lifetime, except mm, there is a there is a very recent collection of letters. I don't think that there's anything in there that is groundbreaking or any need to like go rush out and get it, which is why I don't have it. But it's called like Out of Nazareth, and it's letters of
Okay.
Flannery O'Connor, and I don't own that. And um then there is her prayer journal. So there is a Flannery O'Connor prayer journal.
Oh yes, well in my Flannery January research. I was reading she journaled every day. That was part of her daily habits.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'd love to see some of those too.
Yeah. Yeah. I love A Rose for Emily. That's a great short story by William Faulkner. There's a lot of good stuff that Faulkner did. Um, Faulkner was, pre Flannery, and Faulkner is a lot more in the vein of a James Joyce, somebody who is an experimental writer
Cool.
and doing and trying
I do like James Joyce, so
to.
then I think I'll
Me
like
too.
Faulkner.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Somebody who's flexing language and flexing perspective, these kind of things. That's what Faulkner was, and Faulkner was a genius at what he did. Flannery doesn't do that.
Mhm. Yeah,
Flannery
different style.
is like a laser like focus on characters
Mhm.
and and what their choices mean for their life,
Yeah,
and that judgment
and their
might come down.
depravity. Yeah. Yes.
A good man is hard to find, huh? I love the end of that story when there's this kind of image of the wind blowing through the trees like the world sucking the breath out of through the trees. And it's
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
like
her
you're like,
nature writing too is incredible. You can just tell she just was such an observer and just like really contemplated and took the time to just watch everything and
she
everyone
would
around
she
her.
would say you have to be a
Mhm,
writer.
mhm.
You would love her letters, Victoria.
I'm excited for those.
I wanted to ask, and I don't think you have, or she might have brought it up already, but they did a bio of Flannery O'Connor just this last year, released it called Flannery. Have you seen that?
I I don't know. I don't know if I have or not. I don't
It's
think so.
it was like, put out on public access for a while. It was just out there, I mean, it's probably on YouTube, but I haven't seen it.
Oh,
What
oh, I thought so it's documentary?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
documentary movie, a bio of
Oh, I haven't. Yeah, no, I have not. I
cool.
didn't know that existed, but that's awesome.
Maybe we should watch it for in January.
Yeah,
Us three at least should commit
watch
to
along.
watching, and maybe then we'll
I'd be down.
talk about it on our wrap up or something for the month of Flannery of January.
Mhm. My husband is not a reader, but he is a watcher. So if I can get him to watch
Cool.
something about a great author, maybe he'll
Nice.
read it
Cool.
someday.
Oh well. I don't. especially short stories like that. See, I'm not a great big short story reader. I would love to read more short stories, and I get short stories in an effort to read more short stories.
Mhm.
But, you know, Flannery O'Connor's like a queen of
I
short
think it's
stories.
hard to do them well, and that's I think what can sometimes turn you off to them when you try them and you're like, "Well, it's it's just too bite-sized," like, you just want more,
Right.
right?
Right.
But
Every time.
there's a few authors out there that's their art,
Yeah.
they really mastered that. Flannery is one of them.
Flannery is one of them for sure. And it's because, like the end, the whole thing, like it's a satisfying conclusion. There's this whole kind of, and you see what it all was for, and then you can kind of have fun with that. You can dig in to the symbolism and why
Mhm.
things happened the way that they did or when they did. And there's so much to it. It really is a lot of fun to analyze Flannery O'Connor's short stories and all of her writing because she was such a perfectionist.
That's
That
what it
she,
takes.
yeah, she
That's what it
tweaked,
takes for short
yeah,
stories.
she tweaks all these situations, all the settings, all the dialogue is tweaked to perfection. It's great.
I like what Richardson Reeds mentions, you could say that about poetry too. I think that's yeah, on an even more micro scale, right?
Right, right, exactly right. Especially somebody like, Rilke.
Yeah. Yes.
Puff Pat says she's watching it tonight. Do it.
Nice. Way to
Do
go.
it. If you
Jump
if
on
you
that.
would if you do watch it, jump on jump on my announcement video or even back on this live video here and tell me what you think, what you thought. Um, if you just didn't like it at all, feel free not to say anything to me. Just let
Discover
me,
for yourself.
yeah, just let me go at it myself. I don't need to be, I'm down for it, whatever, either way. Very cool. Very
Cool.
cool, Christina. All right. So that's all I got. I thank you so much, Victoria.
Of course, thank you for having me, and I hope this got more people wanting to join. It's
Hey,
gonna be
fit to
great.
be read.
The more the merrier.
Um fit to be read. Just jumped back in and said watching what. So we were talking about the Flannery. It's just called Flannery. And it is a documentary, biographical documentary that had been done on Flannery O'Connor just this last year, just released over 2020. So if you 81 hours to write a publishable a short story. I mean, 2 weeks worth of work, that's doable. Flannery O'Connor was like, you know, 6 months per story or something. Just ridiculous. Just something ridiculous. Um, I'm so happy we're all in on this.
Yes, it's gonna be awesome, and I hope everyone considers joining us. It's gonna be great. I have a Discord too if you want to chat there
Yeah,
about whatever you're reading. So
I'm
we'd love
gonna
to have
paste
you
it.
there as well.
I didn't do it yet, but I'm gonna paste it. I'll have
Oh yeah,
your
no problem.
Discord in the description of this video too. So anywhere I hype it, I'm gonna have the Discord because that's where conversation is gonna be going down like as we're reading. So
Yeah,
if you want to
just
get in on
in
it,
your thoughts.
yeah. If you wanna just follow content, that's fine. You can just keep up with creators' contents and if you're a creator, make your own content and we'll be in the comment section, that kind of thing. But if you want to talk about it while we're reading, it's Victoria's Discord. There's a place for The Violent Buried Away. There's a place for her short story collection, A Good Man Is Hard to Find, and others, where Victoria will be talking about her reading. And then there's a place for letters as well, where we'll just talk about letters. I'm in all of them. I'll probably interject and chime in and get in on the conversation as it goes down. But I will be spearheading the Violent Buried Away read along. So there we go. We'll probably do a
Ooh,
kickoff live, hopefully with all three of us, Victoria, me, and
okay, that would be
Christy,
fun. Yeah, that would be great.
end of December. We got like an extra week in December. You know what I mean? An extra
Oh
weekend,
yeah.
an extra Friday. So that gives me an extra Friday to do this live.
Sweet.
Or,
That
so
worked out well.
but we can do a live, like, jump on the live here, or we could do a dedicated live for kicking off Flannery of January. I'm all about it.
All right,
Vic-
sounds good. We'll chat.
Victoria, have a good night.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Thank you very much, BookTube. This was awesome. Very, very awesome. And we'll catch you on the next one. I'm so happy to be back this Friday. Um After missing last Friday, because I really did miss y'all. It really is fun to get on here and do a live Friday with y'all. So catch you on the next one. Bye bye.